Hi y'all, it's Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wings, and I have been having some technical difficulties, and so I'm pretty frustrated at this level right now. So I'm going to see if I can get this going and hopefully do a little better. Let's pray. Okay, well here we are at Magic Monday week number 10. So I'm going to stick this over here so I can put the tag with our project when we get ready to put it in our book. I have all of my papers out. All of my papers are cut. And this is what we're going to make today. This is a little extra page that we're going to put in our journal. Now, this is some paper. The paper pack that I used is called, it's Die Cuts with a View paper. It's called Seaworthy. I've had it for a long time, so I don't know whether they have this paper anymore or not, but that's what I'm using today anyway. I'm always making things with lace and dollies and little frilly things and stuff and pink, and so I thought this time I'd do something a little more manly. So that's what we're going to do. Here's our front. Here's our back. And this is writing space in the center. Now then, each folder has a tag. This is the front of the tag, and it has a little card that came with the paper. I put some washi on it and folded it so that it would come up and not have to have a pocket, just something a little different. On the back, we have some beautiful blue distressed paper that I bought in an Etsy store. And then I put some sorry ribbon down here on the side. And I did this, I went ahead and did them, I left one here so you can see how I finished because it took me forever to do those. So I thought, okay, here we go. So we have this one. It goes in this pocket. And we flip back and we have one that goes in the back pocket. It's exactly the same except the little card on the front is different. Flips up, blue paper, blue writing paper on the inside. And then we're going to attach it to our book today, and I hope that all goes well and I can show you how to do that. So let's get started. Put this over here at the side so it's kind of out of the way. Like I said, I already ran the ribbon through there so that we could save a little time and get started here. So I have my papers already cut, and when I cut them I will tell you what the measurements are and all of that kind of stuff so you can make your own. Now, what I'm using is our folder. It are 2 A9 envelopes. They're just plain white envelopes that I got at Walmart. No big deal. I am going to fold them back, crease them a little bit, just so I make sure that fold is working well. And fold this one over. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to put it flap to flap inside this one so that we have the two insides right here together. I'm going to fold it over, test it out, make sure that we've got it where we want it, because I want it to fit right there on that seam, because that seam is already there and prepared for us, so there's no need to have another one. So let's burnish this down a little bit. We're going to take this little piece of paper off here. Now this is a self-adhesive envelope, but I want it to really stick, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it down with my art glitter glue and make sure that it stays. We're going to put paper over it so it's not a big issue, but I want to make sure that it's strong and healthy and will last. Okay, so we have that one done. I'll put a little burnish on it if we need to. Now then, on this side, we just tucked it in there, and it does have this same self-adhesive paper on it. So I'm not very good at pulling the paper off and then sliding it in there because it gets stuck on everything between here and there. So I put it in there, and then I fiddle with it to get this paper off, and then I can come back and just tack it down. If you want to, you can tack it down right here under here just to kind of help hold that a little bit. But like I said, we're going to put paper over it, so it's not going to matter. All right. And there's our simple little book. There we go. Now then, we are going to glue our paper on. Each of these papers I've cut were a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I just cut them down the middle at 6 inches and 6 inches. I didn't worry about how tall because I knew it was plenty tall for my little book here, and I want to get this very close to this spine here that we created. Not going to worry about this side and whether it matches or not, because in a minute we're going to cut that off to open that envelope up, because that's what's going to be where we put our tag. So what we want is to make sure this side, the side towards the spine, this side right here, is very covered. So let's let's glue it up and go all the way around. And sometimes I kind of like to play like I'm Picasso or somebody with my glue, because it's going to be covered up and it's not going to matter. So we're going to put this right down here. If you want to hang it over a little bit just so you're sure you're even, that is fine. But we want to make sure that that is right next to, but not covering up, the spine to our envelope. We don't want a whole lot of room there, just a little. And then, see, this is not quite meeting over here, but that's okay because we're going to cut it off. So we're going to, let's burnish this really, really good here and see how that's going to work. And we're going to turn this over and cut this little piece up here off. Okay, we're going to cut it right up next to our envelope, but we're not going to cut our envelope because that'll open up the top, and we don't want the top open. Okay, so there we go. Save this little piece because you can always use it for tags or this, that, or the other later. And let's move over to the back. Now I'm going to fold this over again just so I can keep in mind exactly where this spine is. So we're going to put some glue back down on this side. Glue all the way around. And glue, glue, glue. Glue, glue, glue. All right, there we go. We're going to take this one and we're going to put it right down here at the bottom, right up next to our little spine. Just a little space there. Just a little. Okay. And we're going to burnish it. Make sure it's folded down really good. Open it up, and we're going to cut this little piece off. We want it to be as straight as it can be, but we're going to ink it. So if you have a little bit of an imperfection or something, that's going to be okay. Let's make sure I didn't cut through the envelope. There we go. And we have our cover on the outside, front, and back done. Very cool. Now then, we're going to work on the inside. The inside's a little bit tricky. So we're going to hang and let's move this back a little bit and see. Okay, here we go. So here's our paper for the inside, and we're going to do the same thing with the center of our little spine right here. All right, and we're not going to worry about this side, but do not glue right here in this little section right here, because that's going to fold down our pocket. And I think I shouldn't have glued that down a while ago, but I did. So we'll worry about that when we get finished. So we're going to go right down here, right at the edge of our spine, round the corner, and then we're going to come past here, back to where the envelope meets, and put our glue. Alrighty, we don't want to glue it together. Don't want to glue it shut. Okay, make sure we're right side up here. We're going to put our blue stripe here at the top. And are we in? We're going to put it right here, right up close to that little spine. Not over it, but right up close to it. Okay, whew. We're going to burnish. Turn it over and cut this little section off, just as we did on the front. Okay, are we still working? And we're going to turn it over, and I'm going to turn it upside down so that I can work from this side. Glue around the edge, down the spine, not here, here. Okay, and we're just going to glue, 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 and we don't want any glue over here. So if it managed to get over there, get it off. We're going to turn our paper upside down because our folder is upside down. Right here on our little spine. Try to line up our stripes here. I hate working with stripes. Always hated sewing with stripes. For the same reason. You gotta get them all hemmed up and matching. So I guess you could make them off-centered and have them like this so that when the person starts trying to write, they would think they were drunk. That would work. So, okay, we're going to cut this off right here. Put this over here. Looks like we have a little corner that we didn't get very good over here. So let's tack that down. And we have our little folder. And that glue will just roll up and roll away. Alrighty. Now then, we need to cut to open this up so our pockets will open. So we're going to cut. My husband fixed my little Tim Holtz cutter again. We'll see how long it lasts. because I love it. And it's perfect for this little project. So we're going to start right here. And we are going to cut off just enough so that all of the white edges are cut off. Okay, so you can see we just cut off a little sliver. And then we'll turn it over here. Make sure that we want to cut just inside this blue, because this is the area that's a little narrower. So we want it to be even. Right about there. And cut this off. Let's see if our sides are even. Not bad, not bad. A little bit off here, but we can kind of try to even it up just a little bit. I don't know if my cutter's crooked or my paper's crooked or the putter together is crooked. Probably a little bit of that. Goodness. Okay. There we go. Now we can move this out of the way. And we're still working right here. Okay. Now then. So we have this done. We have our sides opened. And we're ready to make our tags. Okay. Now then, what I've chosen. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead and ink around the edges of this. Because if I don't, I will forget. And I'm using, of course, Vintage Photo, my favorite. And I'm going to put this just right along the edges on all sides. And if there is a little bit of extra hanging off that you didn't quite cut off, it'll cover that up and it'll be fine. Now we're going to go right down the spine, because I want the spine to be brown. Okay, we'll turn it over and do the other side. You know, I have found since junk journaling that all paper, they all say it's 8.5 by 11, or it's 8.5 by 5.5, or it's this or that or the other. And that just means I think it's in the ballpark. Because I can get 2 envelopes that are supposed to be the same exact size, and they're not. So you have to work with what you got. Kind of darken that up a little bit. We're going to turn it into the inside, fold it over, and do the same thing. We're going to ink all the way around the edges, down the spine, and I think this is made just a darling little book. It already has its writing paper in it and everything. So we've got that done. Turn it over. Let's do the other side. My arthritis in my hand is gonna be getting me tonight. This is the 3rd time I've tried to make this book, and my camera keeps drooping. I have this little thing, contraption, to hold it up, but it keeps moving and it slides down, and by the end of the video you're looking off over yonder. So trying to keep a better eye on it this time. And let's get our little foam nubbins off, and we have our book done. There we go. Now we're going to work on our tags. Now our tags are let's see, right at 6 by 8 1/4. And they will fit in this envelope pocket. If I can get it in there, if I can find the hole. Okay, so we're going to do it like this and have this little part right here hang out so you can see it. Okay, that's going to be our ruffle. So before we get started on everything, I do want to show you how I did this. This is sari silk, and I just buy it in a little wad like this. And then you just pull off and use what you want. It's got lots of strings and stuff, but the strings give it character, I think, and I like it. So that's what I used. And I punched the holes with my ribbon punch right here. And just went down the edge and punched it. But I get really frustrated when I work with that thing, trying to measure and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I left a little extra. Up here, I folded this over. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to show you how I did this. I left the last hole blank and left the silk piece coming from the back. Oops. We already have some ink on it. Let's see if we can... Maybe we'll get that off. Maybe we'll put our tag over it. Anyway. I folded this over. I made a little knot because, you know, sailors and people who work on the sea love knots. And so I made a little knot down here at the bottom. Just a flat knot. We don't want it to have a lot of bulk to it, but just a little flat knot right there. And then I used my Fabrifix because we're using fabric. Held this down and glued right here. And what we're doing is we're gluing that little knot down. We're going to put it right there. And then we'll cut this off a little bit. I left it a little long so that I'd be sure and have plenty to fold up. Can you see? Okay. So we've got it folded up there. Now then, I'll get my little scissors here. And we'll just cut this off and let it just sit there. And we have a little knot. Now then, we're going to work on the back first. This is the inside. Actually, this is the inside of our tag. This is the inside of this tag. Because that's how we want them to fold. We're going to fold them back this way. I wonder if we could put... That's not going to make any difference. Okay. Put them back like I had them. Okay, we're going to fold them over this way because we're going to take our writing paper and put on the back side of this tag. Now, this is just some pretty blue paper, and I've cut it to fit. So I want it to come right up next to this edge over here. And it should, if I measured correctly, go right up to our sari silk edge. Okay? So we're just going to glue that down here. We're going to glue that down here. So let's get our glue. And we're going to go right here. And I am going to kind of use my finger tool to kind of press out those ridges a little bit, just so they don't show through on our paper. And we're going to put our paper down right here in the corner, down the edge, and down the edge. Okay. And that should work. Get our bone folder, burnish it down really good. over and cut off the excess. And there we go. Oops. Looks like we got it a little crooked, or maybe it printed crooked. Okay, looks like it printed a little crooked. And that is going to drive me nuts. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to get this one. Do the same thing. Put our paper right here. It should fit right there. Okay. Finger tool our little bumps down a little bit. Come right over here to the edge. Up to the edge. And down. Your bone folder. Turn it over, cut the excess off of the bottom, are we still where you can see? Let's fold it back a little bit. Apologize for my holy shirt, but I'm constantly wiping my hands on myself, so I don't want to wear nice, pretty clothes. So, okay, there's our tag. The next thing we have is our little journaling tags, and I'm going to ink these in blue ink. This is faded jeans. Distress oxide. Don't have to worry too much about the front because it's already blue. It's not going to show up a whole lot, but it will show a little. And so we want to make sure that's covered. Come around on the back. Do our edges. Get our little, this is the paper that I cut off of the bottom of the tag, so I thought, well, I'll use that, and I trimmed that off just ever so slightly. I'm using a linen cardstock, and so it's really pretty. When you get ready to use that, though, you have to make sure you have the right side. One side is a little more linen-y than the other side, and you want to make sure that you get the pretty side up. Put this one down on here. We're just going to center it up as best we can. And then we have that one. What we're going to do is put this one right here, like this. Now then, what to do with my washi tape? Here it is. This washi tape has a map on it. And I thought, okay, well, that ought to fit for our little theme here. And it's really wide, so I don't need it to be quite this wide. I'm going to take this. We're going to put just a little bit of glue up here at the top, on the top of our tag. We're not going to go over. We don't want to glue our tag to the paper, we just want to glue our tape here. We're going to go about halfway down and tape that on. This washi tape, sometimes it does fine, but sometimes after a while it comes up, so you might want to, you know, be careful with that. Got a little spot there trying to come up, so I won't remember that next time. We're going to cut this off down here at this seam. Kind of cutting blind there. And then I want to cut it in half. And there's a little line right here. I guess it's a, excuse me, it's a equator line or latitude line or something. But I'm just going to cut right across here. I'm going to save this piece for the other tag. Well, goodness, I almost have a frog in my throat. Now then, we know where we're going to put this. We're going to lay it down so that it's where we want it. We can pull this tape back, apply glue, and then just fold it back on our page. Okay. And then I'll get my bone folder and kind of tuck it down pretty good. And there we have our little writing place. Okay, there we go. That one can go in our book in just a minute. Let's do the other one. Get this one done. And then we'll put it in our journal and see how it looks. I hope it works. I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't. No, if it doesn't work, you won't see the video, so. Right around the edges of our white paper, we're going to, and I'm inking it on the wrong side, so let's go ahead and ink it on this side. There's no need to ink both sides of this because we're going to glue this down, but I want the pretty linen side to be closer to the front, so we'll put this on here, put that out of the way, make sure our tag is right side up, get rid of our nubbins. Put this right here, we're going to glue our tag. Every time I put glue on, it's different. But that's okay. This tag may be a little bit bigger than the other one, so that's going to fit a little different. But that's quite okay. Quite okay with me. Alright, we're going to put this one on here. Now this one, we kind of tilted this way, so this one will kind of tilt this way. Get our little, let's go ahead and put our piece of washi tape that we saved. Make sure our words are right side up. Put a little glue down on the top of our tag. You want at least half of your washi tape on the top of your card. Okay. Now then, let's trim this up just a little bit because we don't want that tape to interfere with our tag flipping up. Okay. We're going to lay this down. Put our tag on here. Fold this back. Put our glue. We're going to put it directly on the washi tape because if we try to put it on the white paper, it's not gonna, we don't know exactly where the borders are. So this will help us keep the glue where we need it to be. Okay. Get our burnishing tool. Put it down. And we have 2 cards. How cute is that? Okay. Now, before we put them in, we're going to ink around the edges. Just because, you know, I don't care too much for that white paper. Those white edges. So we're just going to ink just ever so slightly right around the edges. Turn it over. Let's go ahead and do the back. Even though it's blue paper, it will still show the shadow, and it looks really cool, I think. And then we'll put, apparently the paper was straight because this one is straight. It must have been the putter-oner. So we have that one. We'll do this one really quickly. I hope I'm still in frame so you can see what I'm doing here. Yep, I think it was the putter-oner. That's all right. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll put this one in my journal. And I'm used to crooked. Everything I glue is crooked. So there we go. All right. Now we have our little book here. We can put our journal pages in. We've got one to go in the front. Turn it over. This one goes in the back. And it's ready to put in our journal. Okay, this is our journal. And I had picked out a page previously because I had picked out this page right here. Just because I thought it was kind of pretty and I thought it would fit and go together. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our washi tape and we are going to pull it up. Okay, before I glue something to something that's not supposed to be glued, let's make some room here. We're going to turn our book on its side, and we are going to, I'm going to put this washi tape on. And I'm going to make it this long. And I want it to cover quite a bit because it's an additional page in our book. So let's cut this off right here. We're going to glue along the edge. Let's use our Fabri-Tac since we're gluing tape. I don't know that it matters. It's paper tape, so I think it'll probably be the same. Be fine. But we'll go ahead and put this on here because it's a little bit stronger. Okay, we're going to put that on here. And we are going to, if we can keep our tape unfolded, we're going to line it right up with our equator line. Right there. Like that. And I kind of toyed with, I didn't know how to put the tape on there because either way, somebody's going to be upside down. And so I just decided it doesn't matter. So we're going to cut this off right here. We're going to cut this one off right here. And we're going to kind of fold this way so that this doesn't stick to itself. And we're going to get our other piece on our other side. I'll leave it just slightly. And we're going to get some more. Well, I tell you, it rolls up so fast. It's like trying to roll up one of those old maps we used to use in school. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we're going to put a little glue on this side. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it at our line right there. Let it dry ever so slightly. Okay, now we have our pages ready to go in our book. So let's try to cut this down. I tell you what, let's take these tags out while I glue this together. That's what I didn't want to happen. And it happened. So I think that what I'm going to do, see, wiping it on my shirt. That's why I don't wear my nice things. Well, I don't know. We're going to make this work. Okay, so we're going to fold this down. We'll fold that back. Get our page. We're going to hold our tape back as best we can and slide it right in the seam. Okay. Take this one and fold it up just for a second because we're going to glue this one back here. And we're going to glue it to this page. Stick it down in our seam. Fold it down very niftily. We'll come back in a little bit and cut these extra pieces off. Now I'm going to turn it upside down just because I glue better that way. And I'm going to glue this side. Nope, let's glue the washi tape since we know where we are. Down in our seam and up in our page. Fold it. Oh, our page moved. We need to move that down. There we go. That is one of the bad things about the Fabri-Tac. It gives you a few seconds to move, and if you're not paying attention, it will move. Okay, so we've added a page to our book. There we go, with a really pretty little washi design. We can put our tag back in, flip on over our other tag, I guess I never took out, and have that there. We've got plenty of writing space, you could put another piece of blue paper here if you wanted to, have a separate writing spot. Maybe you want to do something musical to match this page over here. It really doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. But there we go. There is Magic Monday, week 10, and we have added a page in our journal. I hope you enjoyed our trip, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, I'm back. You can't get rid of me. Okay, I had gone over to edit on my video, and I realized I don't know what I've done, but I have managed. I'm only on week 11. Yes, 11, not 10. And I've already screwed up the numbers. But anyway, this, add a page to our junk journal that we added into our book right here, is week 11, not week 10. When I decided to do the week 5 and put the things that we were going to list in the store, and I had already done my calendar and got it all set up, and then I threw week 5 in there as being something else, and all my numbers got screwed up. So anyway, this is going to put us back on track. This is week 11, and next time will be week 12. I hope I got it right. Hopefully. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me, and I will see you next time.